episode. I said Haley might as well have dumped the whole bottle of poison in his doggone tea. Might as well. Anita has to come in for more tests. Haley was worried that the test would show what she been doing. Vernon's still sneaking around. He's learned nothing. Look. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in a minute. We got 2 things to talk about. Well, we got a lot to talk about, but them 2 main things, we got to talk about it. Joy finally gave Vanessa what she wanted, them to go public. And the last things that Kat was telling Chelsea about Tomas wanting them to move in together. And Madison showed up at the end of the episode. But hey, y'all. Welcome back to another review of Life of Chelsea for Beyond the Gates. December 9th, 2025. I don't know why. I had originally labeled this The Bold and Beautiful. And on my notes, I put The Bold and Beautiful. Let me scratch it out. But yeah, what y'all think of the episode? This was a good episode. Look, what was the first thing I wanted to talk about? I don't know if it was Haley over here. I said, now he told her to take it easy. She had already put something in the tea first when Caroline was about to drink it. I thought she was going to let her drink it at first. She took her precious time. She took her precious time telling her not to drink it or grabbing it from her. What was the other thing? Oh, when the phone was ringing. When the phone was ringing, I was thinking that it was Vernon's phone. I was thinking it was Vernon's phone. She was about to answer her. She was going to see the name says Sharon on there or something like that. That's what I thought. But it looked like they actually finna make something go on with Anita's health or whatever. And I think it was one more thing, but I can't remember. But okay. So today's new episode, we're going to start with Haley. This fool, so desperate to get that money and stuff. She's out in the hallway again. Right in front of a doggone window, poisoning this man. And instead of Carol, now she in the office. Now if the... First, now when Haley be in the office poisoning him or whatever, she be on the outside. Now she in the office and she on the outside. I think that's that Caroline. Then Caroline was mad. She said she mentioned or she was making little slick comments about Haley showing up late for work and all this other stuff. I see starting to see her for who she is, ain't you? But yeah, then Caroline ended up mentioning something about Bill being at the hospital. And she's like, it's okay. I'm his wife. I deserve to know. I said, girl, you just wondering if your stuff worked. And that was the other thing. If he just came from the doctor, they gave him the all clear, said he was healthy and everything. Don't you think that they gonna know, okay, something's off. Something's off. Now, it may be untraceable or whatever, which I think that it could be traceable. But I think an expert will have to, look into it or test it or whatever. But I think they setting it up for Danny to be the one to save him or something. I might be wrong. We'll see. Also, like I said before, a spoiler later in the week says that Bill's supposed to get a new client or whatever. And Haley's supposed to be shocked at the client. So I'm assuming he going to be okay. I said, now Bill, you out here laid on the floor and stuff. And she studied was made. It didn't happen. You was fine. You just came from the doctor and everything. Now you on the floor. Now you on the doggone floor. 2 and 2 together, man. 2 and 2 together. Like, she keep trying to pressure you to drink this doggone tea. Even when he was drinking it, he could tell, like, something was off. I said, Bill gonna wake up. He gonna be okay. She over here putting more. Then when she came back from talking to Randy, she told me, so should I rush? You might as well. She talking about some, should I speed this up? I was like, girl. I said, you might as well dump this doggone whole bottle of poison in his doggone drink. I said, she want him out the way completely. She want him out the way immediately, actually. But yeah, I said, Caroline, you better stay out her way. She already ready to get rid of you as it is. She took her precious time. She was about to drink the tea or whatever. And she was just looking at her about to drink the tea. Then she finally told her that one is hers. It's some more in the break room or whatever. I said, I wouldn't take nothing from her. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Who we got next? Bill and Anita. Anita and Bill was at the hospital. Anita said something about she had to come in for some more tests. Yesterday, I think she said she went for the mammogram. So I'm wondering if they finna do a storyline where she has breast cancer or something. Bill was there. And they started talking, and Anita still talking about the same thing, how he broke her daughter's heart and all this other stuff. But because Danny seemed like she's starting to put things behind her, she guess she can, do the same. But then she continued to say the same thing. She continued on. I mean, which is understandable. And she also told him, don't think I don't be seeing you watch my daughter when you think nobody looking. I said, about time somebody see it. I said, Haley see it too, though. I take that back. Haley be seeing it. But yeah, she's like, I be seeing you look at her and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all they was talking about. What else? Oh, no, it wasn't. Anita said that Vernon never made her question where he laid his head and stuff like that. Then they cut to his scene where he on the phone with Sharon again. I'm assuming it was Sharon. It had to been Sharon. So this whole time he been talking to Sharon. I said, now, this was the other thing. It wasn't just about Anita's test. Look, I had a lot to talk to y'all about actually. But now they made it seem like he was gonna sing or whatever at the doggone Winterfest. He didn't do that. So he on the phone with this lady again, and by the time Anita got to the house, she looked shocked or whatever. But when they went to the scene, he had planned this dinner for her, and he had just a little romantic setup or whatever. So I'm like, okay, he finna get ready to sing. I said, we been waiting on this. I said, come on out with it. I said, now how much longer we gotta wait for this? How much longer we gotta wait for this now? What is the secret? Because I don't think he's cheating. I definitely don't think he's cheating. I think he's taking singing lessons to my sweetie. What you said we could do it right here in the in the living room or whatever it's called. And I said, man, then Danny done popped up. He kept trying to get rid of her. She was like, I think you're trying to get rid of me. She wanted to invite them to have dinner with her and Andre. But he said they already had plans or something like that. But yeah, did Sharon ever show up? I can't remember if she showed up or not. I don't know if she did. Cause then wasn't she supposed to been on the way there? I don't know, y'all. But what else? Let's see. Vernon, Sharon, and Danny. We already talked about them. Joy and Vanessa. Vanessa came there, and she was saying how she don't like people making decisions for her and stuff like that. And he said the same thing. She still wants them to go public. He reminds her that, he has a lot to lose. They have a lot to lose because they over here laundering money. She's like, I don't care about that and all this other stuff. Hold on. She talking about so she don't care about that. And she was like, she still want to go public. He was like, no. So she was like, well, maybe we should put pause on this relationship then. And he's like, maybe so. So she ran out of there, and you know where she went? Back to drinking. Look, I thought she was about to handle Anastasia, whatever her name is. She kept on. I said, take your nose and tail on somewhere, girl. Well, yeah, so she stormed out of there. She was upset. I said, look at him. I said, I want to know. And he came. He came to get his woman. But she was just talking to Danny and Andre about Joy, how he just let her leave and everything. She was crying and drinking, and they was trying to tell her. Danny was trying to take her home. Andre was suggesting that they get food. Anastasia came up talking to us, talking about some. Wait, before she talked to Danny, she was drinking, and Anastasia came up then, talking about some, basically, no man wants her, or something like that. And she came up talking crazy again. Then next thing you know, Vanessa look up, Joey's right there. And he came over there. She asked what he was doing. He's like making a scene. So they just started slobbing each other down. I said, doing good. They over here kids. I said, wait a minute now. I said, look, I know it be acting this stuff. I want to know how these folks' significant other be feeling when they be seeing this stuff. they slobbing each other. What the world? They I said, y'all in public. Take that back to the casino. I said, wait a minute. Now there's a kiss like, what? And then there's what they was doing. I said, oh, no, I had to, I said, wait a minute, because at first I was like, is this really happening? Then Danny looked like she was bothered by it and everything. Anastasia standing up there. I said, well, if don't nobody know by now, then knows the lady gonna tell everything. Well, yeah, I said, Vanessa, you sleeping with the enemy, literally. Well, yeah, so now they public now. I said, he should have did that yesterday. That would have been better. All the people in the room would have been looking and everything. That would have been the perfect opportunity for him to come forward. But no, he choose today. Who else we got? Let's see. Randy and Haley. Haley had called Randy because she was like she needed to meet up with him. So they ended up meeting up. And she wanted to know, she said Bill had to go get labs. She was worried that the labs would show that she been poisoning him. He was like, his guy is no, newcomer. He ain't no newcomer. That ain't what he said. He ain't new to this. He true to this. He been taking out people for the longest. He know what he doing. This poison is really poison and it's untraceable. But like I said before, I think that if it's one of them scientist people or those testers, the people y'all know, they be over here experimenting and stuff. I'm sure it can be traceable, but I don't know. I'm just talking for real. But yeah, he was reassuring her that it was undetectable. So this fool decided to take it upon herself to go. I said, was that the same cup of tea? She went back to the office, took out the poison, and started pouring more poison in there. To myself, should I speed this up? Might as well. Shoot, if that's the same cup of tea. Next thing you know, Bill, he was like, no, he can't drink that right now. He got to focus on work and all this stuff. She was like, she wasn't asking him. She was telling him. This fool drinking it, and he could tell you by his face, he just making faces while he drink it. Next thing you know, he got up. He's a Haley or whatever. He was trying to tell her something. I said, she knows she did it. I said, he gonna get up like nothing happened and not suspect a thing. He don't feel out she Bill or whatever. You did it. You did it. But yeah, he don't fail or whatever. And I said, no, he just left the doggone doctor. And they said everything was okay. Even if they can't detect it, they gonna automatically think you did something, not only because of the obvious, but you talking about leaving town, getting that $10 million. Randy was talking about the $10 million. He was talking about the black card. He was talking about the trust fund for the baby that wasn't no baby because she was never pregnant. Talking about the house in the dog. What was the house located? I don't forgot. Out the country. That's what we gonna say. Out the country or whatever. I said, y'all going to jail. I said, y'all going to jail. But yeah, with them saying that this week that Bill's supposed to have a client that shocks Haley, do y'all think it's gonna be somebody that she done come before? Do y'all think it's gonna be somebody she done come before? Do y'all be seeing them TikToks and videos that the cast be doing when they be dancing and just making TikToks and stuff? I'll be watching those. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Bill and Madison. Madison ends up telling Bill, the way she was looking, you would think that she saw something, but she told him that everything was okay, he was healthy. He wanted to know how Thanksgiving was. First she said she couldn't talk about it. Next thing you know, she wouldn't stop talking about it. She wouldn't stop, and Bill looked like he was real uncomfortable. But she ended up showing up to talk to Chelsea. They supposed to been going for a walk and talk about everything. Chelsea and Kat was talking about the whole Madison situation and how Anita had told her about herself. Kat ends up telling Chelsea about Tomas wanting them to move in, and she's not ready. She doesn't want to rush them. Chelsea was saying how she knows that Kat loves him and he loves her. I said, girl, please. He may feel something for her, but he feel even more for evil. He feel even more for evil. He using her for what he could use her for. Now, that don't mean he don't, care about her a little bit, but you could tell. You could tell. But yeah, they was talking about that, and that, like I said, Madison showed up at the end. Anita and Vernon, she came. She was shocked that he don't plan this dinner. They had a nice little time talking about being alone. And that's why I was like, okay, cue the singing. Cue the singing. Now's the time. I said, now's the time for them to do the whole singing thing or whatever they're going to do. But no. So he went to do something, I think, to help with the dishes or to do the dishes because he said that he gave the lady the day off or something like that. And the phone was ringing. I was like, is she finna see Sharon calling or something like that? It was her doctor saying that she has to come in for more tests. And I said, oh, my goodness. And I think that was the last thing. Or did I say Andre and Danny met for dinner? And Danny, oh, yeah, I did say that. Andre and Danny met for dinner. Danny asked Andre how it was seeing Ashley. And he was like, he felt something. But, it was just because, she a good person. She's a good person or whatever. And she seemed kind of sad. Danny said, look here, partner. I don't care who said. You better not become no doggone shoulder for her to cry on. I said, too late. Every time he always in her face. I said, and he hesitated too long. But she can't talk because he should have said, he missed the perfect opportunity. He should have said, and you need to stop over here sending roasted marshmallows to your ex-husband. Look, that's different. We have kids together. They ain't kids no more. And even if they was, she ain't got no be. What roasted marshmallow got to do with you sending it? Girl, I was like, he missed the perfect opportunity. Vanessa want to come over here interrupting their conversation and stuff. But yeah, talking about what she told him. He don't need to get used to giving her a shoulder to cry on. He should have said, you don't need to get used to over here sending marshmallows to your ex-husband. What the world going on? Andre, oh, man, perfect opportunity. Because she been doing too much with him. Then that's another thing. Bill was talking to Anita. He said something about we have kids together. I hate when people use that as an excuse to do inappropriate stuff. I absolutely hate that. That's that considered a pet peeve? Is that considered a pet peeve? I don't know. Either way go. That's it. Let me make sure though. Let me see. Anita to join her and Andre. Caroline tried to drink the tea. Oh, look, I just skipped over everything. When Haley originally called, when Haley called, what's his name, Randy, Joe was back there, and he said, what did he say, who did he say he was on the phone with? Somebody, and, Joey knew that it was Haley, and I said, he might as well just tell him what's up, so that he could give Bill a warning. Well, can't warn him, he already laid on the floor. He ain't laying on the floor, he gonna get up like nothing happened. Oh, I don't know what happened, maybe I got up too fast. That's it, that's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time.